What up YouTube, Big Red here and welcome back. So this is just a video I threw together, painting a couple of different car parts in the booth at one go. As you can see, I'm just tack ragging down that new rear bumper belonging to a Toyota Orion. 1G3 is the colour code for that one. I'm just putting some plastic primer on there using the Jet 100BF 1.4mm setup. A bit of plastic primer, and the other parts belong to a orange Mini Cooper manufactured by BMW, and I cannot remember the colour code on that one, sorry guys. So we're just applying a bit of wet on wet, or sealer as some people call it. So I've worked out too with this Enviro base wet on wet, it's good to have probably around about 1.5, 1.6 bar and about 2 turns out on the 100BF gun. So yeah, on this bonnet here, it's just that little repair on that primer patch and just a little bit on the corner of this bumper. Not a lot really, but unfortunately this colour didn't cover very well, and the car had been painted before as well, so had to play around with the colour a little bit to get it to match. It's a bit hard to see, especially now this bonnet's been rubbed, but the centre of the bonnet actually you could see in person that it was a different colour to the two sides of the bonnet. So I'm not sure what's been done there, whether they've just done the middle of a repair or they've just done the two outside edges and blending for the bonnet for previous repairs and accidents. So I wouldn't be able to tell you that one, sorry. So we're using the Jet 5000 WSB setup there, about 1.3 to 1.4 bar generally.
Yeah, imagine having a really
2 turns out on the fluid tip. And just applying a bit of a double medium wet coat, just going for coverage.
Going for my family too. I know, I told you I think it's shit, because it...
On this one too, I didn't include all the footage of the multiple coats that I had to put on for that orangey yellow Mini there. It took a fair few coats to cover, so I just basically edited it and give you an idea, and I mean you get the general gist of how things went. But I think it was something like 6 or 7 coats of colour to hide the primed area on that bonnet. And this video was also made as well in my old workshop. I have recently moved for the last coming on 3 weeks almost to a new shop. So I have that's why I haven't really done any more videos for a little while. I've just been settling in, learning my place, so to speak. But I have recorded one video from the new workshop, and you guys will get to see that soon. That will be a 3-layer pearl white Suzuki Grand Vitara. Big job on that one. It's a bit of a long video, about 30 minutes, but I tried to cut it down as best I could, but also keeping as much footage and whatnot as I could too, so you didn't miss out on too much, or you weren't sure what was going on. You got to see the process. So all I'm doing there, guys, too, is I'm just putting on a medium, just a single medium coat. Just not as heavy as my first double coats were, and this is mainly because I've already pretty much gained coverage. This is a bit of a kind of an insurance coat, so It doesn't need to be as heavy. It's just to make sure it's covered, and just kind of helps all the metallics lay down a bit nicer as well, more evenly. There's one thing I will say about this old shop I worked in. The size of the spray booth, it was pretty good. Like it was a huge booth. It did make it hard when it come to getting panels up to temperature and keeping them there, especially when baking, things like that. But you're able to fit so many parts, or like a vehicle plus many parts in the booth at once, which really came in handy. It saved double handling or having to do, one job in 2 goes, etc. So it did have its advantages, especially during summer. But in the colder months, it just made things really difficult. Because unfortunately, as most of us know, heat rises, and being a really big tall booth, all the heat stayed in the top of the booth there, and it was quite cold down the bottom where the rest of the world was. So I think it's like anything really. You get your good points and your bad points to any booth, any shop. It's just one of those things. So we just got a bit of a technique coat there, or a drop coat, however you want to call it. About 1 1/4 turns out on the fluid tip there, and I'll be spraying about 1 to 1.1 bar. This just ensures everything's laying down nice and even. Basically this coat will eliminate any model, make everything look uniform. I don't know if you could notice it just there, but just where I just started tack ragging on the side where I didn't have any colour, the bonnet was quite orange compared to the middle of the bonnet. Same with where I've applied my coats, quite orange, but that matches the rest of the car quite nicely. So that's what's made me think that the middle of the bonnet's been done before, or the 2 sides of the bonnet have been done before as blends for previous accident. Probably a bit hard to see on the video really, guys, but take my word for it, I was there. So we're using the SATA Jet 5000 RP 1.2 setup. Beautiful gun, absolutely beautiful. Just puts this clear on, no dramas at all. This is the EnviroFlow LVC 104 Ultra High Solid Clear. 2 turns out on the fluid tip, spraying at about 2 bar, possibly a bit higher, I can't remember, as I did change my technique a little bit after playing around, and I found that although I was getting good results at about 2 bar, I mean I still can. Sometimes, depending on the what thinners I use, because I've mentioned before, the thinners is what controls this clear coat. There's only just one hardener, and then it's accelerated, fast, medium, slow, extra slow thinners. So yeah, sometimes I found that cranking that pressure up to even about 2.4 to 2.5 bar, it certainly atomizes a lot nicer as well. I suppose it all just comes down to what finish that you're trying to replicate and what you feel comfortable spraying with. I mean, to be honest, I kind of enjoy the technical side of application processes and all that when it comes to spray painting. I mean, I'm not searching for that perfect finish, but I do like to push myself and see what I can achieve with what setups and what materials, etc. So I mean, not that I get bored, but I do like to mix it up a little and see what I can come out with. I mean, I know at one stage, before I even started making videos at this shop, I decided I'd take my ANI 1.7mm setup primer gun and clear a job with it, and it came out mint. I wish I'd actually made a video of that. It actually came out really good, but that was just having a bit of fun mucking around, testing things out, trying different processes and techniques and setups and seeing what works. And with this clear too, it's like less is more in a way. You put your first coat on, you don't really put it on that heavy. You put it on and you think, well, compared to a normal MS clear and some of the HS clears, you go, well, that first coat's a bit dry. But not with this clear. The first coat is, if it's a little bit dry, it's not bad. It's the second coat that makes all the difference. And I know I have said in the past too, you want to put a nice wet coat down. There you go guys, see how quite orange the edge of that bonnet is compared to how light the centre is. So that's what I was talking about earlier. You can see it a bit better now that there's clear on there. But yeah, sorry, like I was saying, I know that I have said in the past that the first coat makes all the difference, and it does, but it doesn't. It all just depends on application. It's, if your second coat's not going to be on super wet, then your first coat needs to be, what you want to finish with. Whereas if you put it on a bit drier at first, but then you lay down a really nice second coat, it kind of does the same thing. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, really. It just depends what you're comfortable with. I'd also like to know if anyone's got a Jet phaser that they spray their clear with or their base with, and they also have sprayed with the standard 5000. Maybe drop me a comment and let me know how you feel. Do they spray exactly the same? Do you notice any difference? Or maybe, you think that they're completely different, they spray completely different, or they just for looks, I'm quite interested. Unfortunately I can't afford one right now, but one day I would like to get one and do a bit of a review on it. So yeah, if you've got one or you've used them, let me know. I'm quite interested, guys. We'll leave it there for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a different one with a couple of different parts, and sorry it's taken so long to get a new one out to you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and stick around for the next one. We'll see you later.